Hello class, welcome to the week 4 module. So it's going to go from January 22nd and end on January 28th. We're going to look over compare and contrast, which is more going to focus on opposing paragraphs, the writing process, comma splices, run-ons, and caged bird. So here, the overview video is here. The plan of attack, how would I go about attacking this? You can open that up if you want. Townsend Press, you have argumentation. Again, Townsend Press will be due on January 28th, along with the other quizzes. Here we have 2 caged bird quizzes, and read these and annotate them. You may want to watch the discussion board prompt video first before you read these chapters. That way you have information that you need that you look for as you read, so you can annotate better. Okay, this whole week and week 5 are about persuasion and argumentation, or more focus on argumentation. So if I were you, I would definitely, let me open this up, watch this video and take this quiz, okay? And then the next part here is make a copy of this here. This will list ways of setting up argumentation essays. Watch this video, it walk you through this whole document and then take the quiz. So make sure you do those first. And then logos, pathos, and ethos, I think most of you are familiar with. Again, those quizzes are all due on January 28th, Sunday, January 28th. And then here, what I really want to, and then here's the argumentation essay, research essay, what I'll refer to as the R. I'm putting it here in week 4, however, it's going to be due week 5, January 31st. So I'm going to go over this in a separate video because it takes a little more explanation. So let's jump back up here. So the discussion board is argumentative. We're going to write an opposing paragraph. Note, remember when we submit our first or the initial post, this paragraph is going to be how to write an opposing, a counter argument and a refuting. And I'll go over that in a second, but again, make sure you look at these chapters of caged bird. Okay, let's open this up. So the prompt is, as you read, Maya has gone through some hardships and some rough situations, but she meets people who help her along the way with her life, where she can grow. So one of these people is Mrs. Flowers, and in another situation, she meets these kids in the junkyard. So the prompt is, did Maya grow more? The emphasis is more here, from being with Mrs. Flowers, or did she grow more from being in the junkyard, from the kids who lived in the junkyard? So this is an argumentative paragraph, so you have to decide, well, where did she learn more? Where did she grow more? Was it from Mrs. Flowers or the junkyard? Which one, whatever one you choose, that'll be your pro. The other one will be your con, or the counter argument. Okay, the video I'm making here. So the requirements, you have to have at least 2 in-text citations. One for support of Miss Flowers and one for support of the junkyard. Okay, so you have to choose. Okay, at the bottom of your initial thread, we know all of this. Okay, so the required format, you will know this from doing the quiz on the refuting, the counter argument and the refuting. So what you're going to do is you're going to put part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and then your post will look like this, and do it exactly like this. And if you're confused on the video, if you watch the other videos and the quizzes, it'll make more sense. But let's say here, the opposing paragraph, this is what you're going to structure. Now remember, the example I gave for the quiz was Angelo and Lee. Now you're going to switch yours to Mrs. Flowers versus Junkyard. So part 1, it's going to look exactly like this. Part 1 will be in bold, and then opposing views claim that, and then you choose the junkyard or Mrs. Flowers here, whatever you want. That'll be the topic sentence. Number 2, give your evidence. And 3 and 4, write it just like this, but make sure it makes sense. So if I cut out part 1, 2, 3, 4, it would flow nicely. Opposing views may claim that blah, 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 admittedly, that. And notice that these key words are in yellow, and these come from the document that I've gone over in the other video, and which I'm going to go over again here quickly. So where did I get this from? It comes from this quiz, and this is why I said to make a copy of it and watch the video first. Let me open it up here. I don't really want to go over all of this again, but quickly, here are 5 ways that you can set up an argumentative essay. What we're concentrating right now on is the counter-argument, counter-argument, and refuting. So we're only writing a paragraph, part 1, and then whatever you use, like I used opposing views claim, that is highlighted yellow. Part 2, whatever keywords you use. Part 3, the keywords you use to set up the counter-argument and then refute. Part 4, introduce a conclusion. Those keywords here are in yellow on the other point. Notice here I did it again. I just copy and pasted it. So opposing views may claim that came from part 1. Part 1, introduce the opposing, your topic sentence. Part 1, opposing, that's why I put this in, highlighted in yellow. Again, you don't need to use opposing views may claim. Maybe for part 1 you want to use but blank, or it is often argued that. Any of these ways for part 1, which is the topic sentence of your counter argument and refuting paragraph. Okay, give evidence of the opposition, you're going to list your reason here for your pro here, or I'm sorry, you'll list here the evidence for the con, the opposition, the counter argument. So your con is either going to be Mrs. Flowers or Junkyard. It depends, whatever you choose. Counter, you're going to refute or spin it back to why you think your pro is better. And again, your pro could be Mrs. Flowers or the Junkyard, depending on what your topic sentence states, whatever your pro or your con is. And then you're going to introduce the conclusion. I'm going to jump out of here, come back to the prompt. Again, this is an argumentative paragraph only. This would be a paragraph that we put in the essay. Remember, in an argumentative essay, you want to bring in the other side, the opposing view. If you don't understand this, please go back and watch the first 2 videos, the quizzes that I showed you already. It'll be very clear for you there. Okay, and then at the end here, obviously, you need your works cited. And let's see, works cited, since we're only using Angelou, you would be Angelou Maya. So this is what your paragraph will look like. Again, the bold I want. If the opposing in yellow, the keywords in yellow. Okay. Now, if you have trouble with formatting in the discussion board itself, just try to make it as clean as you can. However, when you submit this as your initial paragraph for me to grade, make sure that you use all of these formatting, the indents, etc. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. If you're still a little confused, go back and watch the argumentative first video and then the second video, and that shall help. Again, where did she get more of a valuable lesson for her life? By being with Mrs. Flowers or being in the junkyard? One will be your pro, the other will be your con. Okay, everybody, good luck, and I really want to go over this well because you're going to have to include this in the R, your argumentative research essay. Okay, everybody, good luck.